Hey guys, welcome to episode number 333. Today is Monday, so it's Update Monday. I've got a whole bunch of fun things to cover, so let's get to it. First off, we have my Aquarium box t-shirts in. We got these in last week. You might have seen Aaron or Mike wearing a couple of these in their videos. So I will be wearing these from now on in my videos. I'm pretty excited about that. We got those screen printed locally, so that's awesome. And right below it is 3 sheets of Matala filter material. These are giant sheets of Matala. I believe these are full-size sheets of Matala. Sometimes they sell them in like half size and they just kind of cut them in half. They probably ship a little bit better. But these, I actually got these on Amazon because I have Amazon Prime, free shipping. And the boxes that these came in were gigantic. Each one came from a different warehouse. So it was like the giant, like 3 giant boxes came in the mail for these 3 sheets, which was kind of bizarre and funny. But if we look at these a little bit closer, you can see that they have different densities. So this black one is the coarsest, and there's very big pockets. I believe next up is the green one, and that's got like medium-sized pockets. And then the blue is the finest of the 3, and those are a little bit smaller. So you can see all of those for comparison. So I will be cutting these down. The plan is to cut them inside so that they fit inside of those milk crates, and then I'm going to set up a filter here. I know I talked about that in my last video, I believe, but what I realized, and when I started to tear this apart, what I realized is that that was going to be way too large to fit on the top of this 55-gallon barrel, because I want to do a 5-gallon swirl filter and do the milk crate trickle tower. There was going to be too much stuff on the top here, and it didn't really fit as well as I wanted it to. So what I've done is started to reach out on Craigslist to people who are selling 55-gallon barrels, and I think the new plan is I'm going to add a second barrel to this sump system. And essentially what I'm going to do is leave this barrel where it is as the moving bed filter. I will take this out as the mechanical filter, and instead I'll feed it into a second 55-gallon barrel. I might even put it a little bit higher than this barrel so that I can put my swirl filter, I can put my Matala filter media in that second barrel, and as it goes through that mechanical filter, it will then pass into my moving bed filter. You can see the K1 Micro is very mature at this point, especially in this turtle tank because it's nice and dirty. And you can see that it's got that yellow hue to it, whereas brand new K1 media is bright white, and it floats very well. This stuff is a little bit yellow, a little bit discolored, and you can see when it gets in that good air bubble flow, it does circulate very, very well. So that's going good. I will touch on these mangroves for a moment. I do believe, as you can see the leaves, that they are having a nutrient deficiency at the moment. It's probably an iron deficiency, I would guess, and I might have to dose this tank to keep these guys going. My only hesitation there is I haven't dosed this tank before, and I haven't dosed something that turtles are living in. So I do need to do my research on that before I dose anything in this water to make sure that it's turtle safe and it's not going to irritate them at all. So before I do any of that, I will look into that. If anyone has experience with that, turtles and dosing aquarium liquids, let me know. Put it down in the comments. I sure would appreciate it. So all of that's going on. Actually, there's one more thing that I wanted to cover here. At some point, I do want to build some sort of grow out system I do have a lot of these Marina breeder boxes. I love these Marina breeder boxes, but the thing that I don't love about them is when I make these covers, these lids for my aquariums, I have to notch out for these breeder boxes so that they can sit on the sides of those aquariums. And I've decided not to put them all along the fronts of these aquariums because it just gets a little too messy and cluttered. And instead what I've done is I put them on the sides here. You can see I've got a marmot crab, crayfish hanging out there. But even that, like, even this space, I don't know, I think at some point it needs to go. It was a nice idea to include these on the sides of every aquarium, but I think in the long term, it's not really sustainable. You know, it kind of makes a mess here with the lid, with the cover, and you know, it's not a great solution because they're so spaced out. Like it's one here, one over there, and one down there, and then I'm kind of out of space. So one idea that I had come up with was to reuse these breeder boxes in a way that wouldn't really require placing them on the side of an aquarium. And what I mean by that is, here's kind of the outline of that breeder box, right? And what I want to do is just kind of place it on a shelf, a wooden shelf, so it can kind of sit on the lip as it normally would, but it can also sit on the bottom, so that's custom sized just for these breeder boxes. And then on the back side would be a piece of gutter material, and the overflow for these breeder boxes, right, would go over this wooden support directly into the gutter, and then that gutter system, like any other grow out rack, could spill down, you know, go all the way across, spill down, and then go into a sump, and we could put our pump back up and spray water back into those breeder boxes. I think that'd be a great solution. There are these little dividers, so we can get quite a few divisions. These large boxes, you can get 3 divisions in each one of those. So breeding betas, breeding crayfish, growing out fish in them, you know, allowing pregnant fish to have their babies in them. There's something to this idea. It's probably not going to happen in the immediate future, but it is something that I'm looking into, something that I'm interested in. And I think it'd be a great way to use these breeder boxes in a non-conventional way. That way you can just line them all up, put them on the shelf, and they're good to go. I mean, you would basically be able to pick them up and put them down wherever you want along this row. And you know, you can take one out, you can clean it out in the sink, you can like drop it back in. All you have to do is turn that valve on or off, and you can, you know, mix and match and move these all around. There'd be nothing really stopping you from adding to it or subtracting to it, doing whatever you want with it. So that's an idea. It's not going to happen right away. I'm not really sure where I would put it. I guess I could mount it to a wall somewhere, but I would want to tie it into my aquarium system. So not quite sure where I want to put it. If you have any ideas, let me know. I don't know if a freestanding rack would be best so I can move it around, or if attaching it somewhere a little bit more permanently would be a good idea. So one last thing, actually 2 more things that I want to share, or 3 more things actually. You can see my Oscar is doing well, and there's all kinds of reflection, so I'm sorry for that. It's kind of difficult to see him, but he is very nice and fat, and he's got great coloration to him, and he has a super appetite. So he's doing really well. He's the rescue that I got from the pond before that pond froze over. You can see he's got a ton of orange on the side of him, and he is chowing down on the Hikari Cichlid Gold, which is part of the beta box for my aquarium box. So if you're interested in a my aquarium box, go check it out. Thank you to everyone who has already placed an order. The February box is actually getting boxed up this weekend at the end of the week, and it's getting mailed out. So if you ordered your box in January, it's on its way shortly, and I'm really excited about that. The last thing that I wanted to share was the Daphnia. These barrels have just been kind of sitting here for probably 3 or 4 months at this point, and I haven't done a water change on them. I haven't really been feeding it at all with algae, but what you will notice if you look really closely is there are some little guys swimming around in there, and wherever you look you will see a few Daphnia. I mean, the population is not explosive by any means, but in both barrels there are some Daphnia swimming around. And again, it's hard to get a good picture of them, but that's a good sign. That means that, I guess, if I just don't touch this for another couple months, by the time the snow melts, by the time I get back outside, I'll be able to restart this Daphnia culture and get that going again. So pretty excited about that. Pretty excited about all of the little projects in the fish room. Oh yeah, one more thing. The reason these tanks are so dark, and they've been so dark for so long, is I haven't gotten around to my LED light version 2 yet. This is a prototype of it on the aluminum bar, and it's close to what I want to do, but my brother is actually redesigning the LED strippy, and you can go check out a previous video on that. It's basically the connector that gets all of these strip lights to work together, and once that is out and once that is around, what I'm going to do is replace these 2 lights here and also add another light over here. So those LEDs are a work in progress, waiting on one more part, and then those will be in. Oh yeah, and one more thing, as if there hasn't been enough in this video already. I do want to move away from these polycarbonate lids. I think they're a really good solution. They're really rugged, they're really hardy, and they'll probably last forever. But I am a little annoyed at the amount of water vapor that does escape from these little gaps here. And I feel like if I move to more of like a twin wall poly plastic sheet, it might trap all of that in a little bit better. The issue is they don't sell them basically anywhere in the state, so I might have to take a little trip up to New Hampshire to find the nearest store that sells those. So kind of a pain. That's why I haven't really done it yet. But I think what I want to do is coincide removing these breeder boxes with making new lids on these aquariums. That way it all kind of comes together at the same time. Anyways guys, that's the update. All kinds of fun stuff going on in the fish room. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe if you'd like, and go check out myaquariumbox.com.